Hello students, this is Malarvili, Assistant Professor MCA Department from Erode Sengundar Engineering College. Today we are going to see about Python list. So a list is a kind of collection. So a collection allows us to put many values in a single variable. A collection is nice because we can carry all many values around in one convention package. So here friends equal to we are creating a list of Joseph, Glenn and Sally. In another list we have named as an carry on. So here the list are socks, shirt, perfume. So lists in Python are one of the most versatile collection object types available. Other two types are dictionaries and tuples, but they are really more like variations of list. Python lists do the work of most of the collection data structures found in other languages. And since there are built in, you don't have to worry about the manual creating them. So next, list constants. List constants are surrounded by square brackets and the elements in the list are separated by commas. A list element can be any Python object, even another list. A list can be empty. So here is an example for all these 3 points. For the first, we are here the elements in the list are separated by commas. So here is an example for that. Print 1 comma 24 comma 76. Here we are separating the values by using a comma. And then next is red comma yellow comma blue. Here also we are using a comma. Next, the list elements can be any Python object, even another list. So again we are here print of red comma 24 comma 98.6. Here all the three values are different. One is string and another one is integer and another one is float. We can give any type of data here. And then next here next is an Python object, even another list is print 1 comma. In that we are creating a list 5 comma 6 and then 7. So finally the list can be empty. We can also give an empty list. List can be used for any type of objects from numbers and strings to more lists. They are accessed just like strings. So they are simple to use and they are variable length. That is, they grow and shrink automatically as they are used. In reality, Python lists are C arrays inside the Python interpreter and act just like an array of pointers. The most basic data structure in Python is the list. Each element of sequence is assigned a number, its position or index. The first index is 0, the second index is 1 and so forth. There are certain things you can do with all list types. These operations include indexing, slicing, adding, multiplying and checking for membership. In addition, Python has built-in functions for finding the length of a sequence and for finding its largest and smallest element. So here is an example program using a list. So we are using a for loop here. So for I is a variable in, we are creating a list 5 comma 4 comma 3 comma 2 comma 1 and then colon. In next line we are printing an I and next we are printing a welcome. So from 5 up to 1 it will be printed and then finally the welcome is also printed. So list and definite loops. So here we are creating a list name called friends equal to Joseph, Glenn and Sally and then you are using a for loop for friend in friends. So print happy new year comma friend. So here the program will be run until the last list value. So first it will print happy new year and the first value in list is Joseph. So first happy new year Joseph will be printed and again the for loop will be run and then next the happy new year and Glenn will be printed and finally the next will be happy new year and Sally will be printed. After that there is no values in list. So finally it is come out of the loop and print done. So here is an Z is equal to Joseph, Glenn and Sally. For X in Z print happy new year comma X. So print done. So looking inside list, just like string, we can get at any single element in a list using an index specified in square brackets. So Joseph, Glenn, Sally, its indexing is started with 0 and then followed by 1 and 2. Here we are creating a list name called friends. So list is Joseph, Glenn and Sally. Here Joseph's index value is 0 and then index value of Glenn is 1 and then index value of Sally is 2. Always the list index value is started with 0. In next line we are printing the print of friends of 1. Here the index value of 1 will be printed. So here the index value of 1 is declared for Glenn. So the Glenn is printed here. So the list is a most versatile data type available in Python, which can be written as a list of comma separated values between square brackets. Important thing about a list is that items in a list need not to be of same type. Creating a list is as simple as putting different comma separated values between square brackets. Similar to string indexes, list index starts at 0 and list can be sliced, concatenated and so on. The variable we have used to this point can bind to only one object at a time. As we have seen, we can use individual variables to create some interesting and useful programs. Variables that can represent only one value at a time and then lists are mutable. So strings are immutable. We cannot change the contents of the string. We must have a new string to make any changes. So but in lists are mutable. We can change an element of a list using the index operator. By using an index operator, we can change any elements within the list. So here is an example for the immutable and mutable. So first here we are creating a variable called fruit is equal to banana. Here fruit of 0 equal to b because it will create an error, does not support the item assignment. So next x is equal to fruit dot lower of. So here we are changing the banana word into a lower case. So next we are printing an x. Now the banana is printed in lower cases. Next we are creating a variable called loto and the list of elements called 2, 14, 26, 41 and 63. So now we are printing a loto and the list elements will be printed. And next loto of 2 is equal to 28, print loto. Now the index value of 2 is going to be 28. So it will be print 2, 14, the index value of 2 is now 28 and then 41 and 63. And how long is a list? So the length function takes a list as a parameter and returns the number of elements in the list. Actually len tells us the number of elements of any set or sequences. So here is an example for this len. So greet is a variable equal to hello Bob. So now we are printing the length of greet. So now the length of the word will be printed. So here the length of the word will be 9. So it will be printed. So the space is also included in the length. So in next here we are creating a list variable name by using a variable name called x. So 1 comma 2 comma 99 is the list elements. Here we are printing the length of x. So now here the length will be 4 because in list we are having only 4 elements. This is the difference between both len. So in first len we are counting then each element and spaces. So it will be printed as 9. But in list we are creating how many number of elements only. So it separated elements by comma. So that will be counted and the output will be printed. So list usage. Lists are most often used to store homogeneous values. List usually holds names, numbers or other sequence, all one data type. They don't have to, they can be used with whatever data types you want to mix and match. It's just usually easier to think of a list as holding a standard sequence of items. Most common use of list is to iterate over the list and perform the same action to each object within the list. A list is an object that holds collection of objects. It represents a sequence of data. So list is similar to a string, except a string can hold only character. A list can hold any Python objects. A list need not to be homogeneous. The elements of the list do not all have to be a same type. Like any other variable, a list variable can be local or global, and it must be defined or assigned before used it. So using the range function. So range function returns a list of numbers that ranges from 0 to 1 less than the parameter. So because the element is indexed by 0, so the last element is 1 less than the parameter. We can construct an index loop using an for and an integer iterator. Here is an example for a range function. So first print range of 4. So here the list of 4 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next we are using an friends of Joseph, Glenn and Sally. Now we are printing the length of friends. Now the length will be 3 elements only present in the list. So the length will be 3. Next we are using print list of range of length of friends. So here the output will be 0, 1, 2. And next is concatenating list using plus operator. We can concat the list by using an plus operator. We can create a new list by adding two existing lists together. So first we are creating a variable called a and the list is 1 comma 2 comma 3, and then b is equal to 4 comma 5 comma 6. Next we are going to concat to list, so that we have stored in C. C equal to A plus B. Now the both the values in A and B will be concatenated. So now we are going to print C. The output will be 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. So the variable, so the values in A will be same and then B will be same, but in C we are going to concatenate the two values. So we can access the values in list. To access values in list, use the square bracket for slicing along with the index or indices to obtain value available at the index. We can also update the list. So we can update single or multiple elements of list by giving the slice on the left hand side of the assignment operator, and you can add two elements in a list with the append method. So list can be sliced using, so here we are using t equal to 9 comma 41 comma 12 comma 3 comma 74 comma 15. Now we are slicing using an colon. So t of 1 colon 3. So it will be gives an output as 41 comma 12. So here the index 1 will be 41 and 3 will be 12. So from the last, the index value of 3 will be 12, so the two elements are printed. So and then next we are using t of colon of 4. So from the last, the 4 elements will be printed. So 9 comma 41 comma 12 comma 3. Sorry, from the first, the 4 elements will be printed, and the next 3 of colon, so this will be printed the last 3 elements. So next t of colon, it will printer the all elements. So we are using an colon in front means it will print from the front values. If we are using the colon in the back side means it will print from the back side. So just like in strings, the second number is up to but not including. So Python provides two operators that let you check if an item is in a list. These are logical operators that returns true or false. So they do not modify the list. Here is an example. We are creating a variable sum and the list is 1, 9, 21, 10, 16. 9 in sum. If we are checking 9 is presented in this list or not. It is presented, so it will gives an output as true. If next we are checking 15 in sum, so in the list we are checking whether 15 is present or not. There is no 15, so it will return false. So and then next we are check 20 not in sum. So here we are checking 20 is not in the list. So it is true, it will be printed as true. We can also delete the list elements. To remove and list elements, you can use either the del statement if you know exactly what elements you are deleting, or remove method is if you don't know. If you know the exact elements which to delete, you can use delete, or remove method if you don't know the elements which you are going to be delete. So remove method is available on list. It searches for the first element that has the specified value and removes it from the list. So basic list operators are plus and asterisk symbol. So this means concatenation and repetition here. So we can use plus symbol for the concatenation and asterisk symbol for the repetition. So lists are in order. A list can hold many items and keeps those items in the order until we do something to change the order. A list can be sorted, that is, it can be changed. The sort method, unlike in strings, means sort yourself. Here is an example. So friends is equal to Joseph, Glenn and Sally. So here now we are using a sort method. We are going to sort the list. So friends dot sort of. Now we are printing the friends. So it will be sorted by an alphabetical order. So the Glenn will be first and then Joseph and then Sally will be printed. So in next line we are now printing friends of 1. So now the index value of 1 is Joseph. So here the Joseph will be printed. We can use the index operator to access an element in the list. So index starts from 0. So list having 5 elements, we have the index from 0 to 4. Trying to access an element other than this will raise an index error. The index must be an integer. We cannot use float or other type. This will result into type error. Nested lists are accessed using a nested indexing. So built-in functions and lists. So there are number of functions built into Python that take list as parameter. Remember the loops we built, these are much similar. So here is an example. We are creating a nums is equal to list 3, 41, 12, 9, 74, 15. Now we are printing the length of nums. So here the length will be 6. So 6 will be printed. In next we are using an max. So these are all the built-in functions in list. So length, max, min, sum, these are the built-in functions. So len is used to find the length of the list, and then max is used to get the maximum values in the list, and then min is used to get the minimum values in the list, and here we are using a sum to get the sum of the values in the list, and then in finally we are using a sum of nums divided by length of nums. Here you have to sum all the elements in the list and then it will be divided by length of the list. So here the sum of the list will be 154 and the length of the list will be 6. So here 154 is divided by 6 and then the output will be 25.6. So here the negative indexing is also allowed in Python. So Python allows negative indexing for its sequence. So the index of -1 refers to the last element and -2 to the second last element and so on. So we can access a range of items in a list by using the slicing operator colon. So slicing can be best visualized by considering the index to the be between the elements. So lists are immutable, their elements can be changed unlike string or tuple. We can use assignment operator to change an item or range of the items. So we can add one item to the list using an append method or add several items using an extend method. So to add a single element we are using append method. To add several items we are using an extend method. So there are some methods in Python list. So some are append, extend, insert, remove, pop, clear, index, count, sort, reverse copy. These are the list methods. So here we have seen about the concept of collections, list and definite loops, indexing and lookup, list mutable functions are called len, min, max and sum, and then slicing the list methods called append and remove, and then sorting list, splitting string into list of words, use split to phrasing. We can concat of two strings by using an plus operator. So we have to print the repetition of the list. The list elements can be repeated by using an asterisk operator in Python. So we can use Python membership operators test for membership in the sequence such as strings, list or tuples. So list is an elegant and concise way to create new list from an existing list in Python. So it offers an concise way to create a list based on existing list. When using list comprehension, list can be built by leveraging any iterable including string and tuples. So list comprehensions consist of iterable containing an expression followed by for class. This can be followed by additional for or if class. So with for loop and conditional statement, with help of you understand this list comprehension. So to process list in large programs, you have to able to pass them to the functions. We can pass individual element of our list or to function like other variables, or entire list can be passed. A entire list can be transferred to the function as a parameter. To transfer list to function, the list name is enough without subscripts as parameter within the function call. So these are the things we have seen in list. So I think now you have get a clear idea about the list in Python. So thank you.